What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Today we're going to be talking... Okay, hold on. I feel bad. I'll put a little bit of effort.
It is Halloween, my pretties. Let us talk about something very spooky.
There's absolutely no way I can do a whole episode like that. I'll give it one more shot.
It is Halloween, and today we will be bringing watches back from the dead.
It's time to resurrect some dead watch companies. It's 12:20 p.m. Let's get down to business. That's right, guys, if you couldn't tell from the intro, today we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting. It was actually recommended by you guys. Let's resurrect some dead watch companies, some companies that have been, lost along the ways. Unfortunate as well, because a lot of the watch companies I'm going to be talking about today have some very, very prolific watches, and a lot of us really love these brands. Again, they just didn't survive for some reason. So I figured it'd be extra scary to do some necromancing, and yeah. It's alive! It's alive! I don't know. I'm trying to get into it, guys, okay? Give me a break. All right, so the first company I want to bring back from the dead, a very easy pick, Universal Genève. Man, gorgeous watches. Founded January 18th, 1894 in Le Locle, Switzerland. These Universal watches are known for their really, really nice, elegant chronographs and those micro-rotor watches. That's right, they were one of the first companies to implement a micro-rotor in their automatic movements, and it's something that's kind of very high-tech and almost ahead of their time. Again, they're known for these really gorgeous, very functional yet elegant pieces. And I'm gonna say it right here, Universal Genève truly made watches for watch enthusiasts. Now, Universal did not do very well in the 1970s. That kind of marked the end for them, probably due to the quartz crisis. But according to their Wikipedia, as of 2011, Universal is an active member of the Federation of the Swiss Watch Industry and maintains 3 offices in Switzerland and oversees La Chaux de Fonds-based watchmaker SEMA. So I'm sure they have some people doing something within different companies in the watch industry, but I would love to see Universal come back and make these just really gorgeous micro-rotor watches and those chronographs. Please bring them back. Please, Universal. We gotta do a spooky spell. Revive them. Next up, Jean Richard. That's right, before the kind of sleek, luxury, smooth bezel fad was in, Jean Richard was making some really, really cool watches. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, if these were around right now, they would probably sell a ton of them, and Jean Richard would be a very well-known company. Now, me personally, when I first started the channel like a little over 2 years ago, I made an episode talking about how I wanted a green dial terrascope. Very hard to find nowadays, and the company has, for all intents and purposes, gone under. Now, there hasn't been any official activity on their website in a long time, so they haven't really released a statement that I could find, and their Instagram has not been active since 2016. That's right, they haven't posted in a good long while, so looks like this company just kind of silently went under the porch and died. Kind of morbid, very sad. But again, if they could only hold on for just a little while longer, today their designs would have crushed it. The next watch company that we will revive back from the dead, Lemania. Now, Lemania has a ton of really, really cool chronographs. My favorite is the Lemania Military 6BB Royal RAF single button chronograph. This is a mono pusher, so that's impressive all on its own, but when you look at the dial, very, very military, very rugged, very badass and classic. Now, Lemania, along with some of the other companies on this list, they have some really interesting history with a ton of other watchmakers that we all know and love today. A man named, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce his name, Alfred Lugren founded the company in 1884. Now, Alfred has his own history training at JLC. Now, fast forward a few years, and around 1932, SSIH Group was put together with Omega, Tissot, and Lemania. But unfortunately, the 1970s were very cruel to a lot of companies. I probably should make a whole separate episode talking about that, but in the 1970s, SSIH fell apart. And again, this is most likely due to the quartz crisis. Now in the 1980s, Lemania changed their name and they went by Nouvelle Lemania. But the silver lining in all of this is that in the 1990s, Breguet purchased Lemania and actually used a lot of their technology in their movements. Next up, now I didn't know if I should put this in the honorable mention category because the name technically still exists out there in the ether, but Wittnauer. Okay, Wittnauer, again, technically still around. It's owned by Bulova, who has successfully just ran this company into the ground. I will never forgive Bulova for what they've done to Wittnauer. These modern Wittnauers are not the Witties that we know and love from yesteryear. Now, Wittnauer was founded by a New Yorker, okay, in the Big Apple in 1885. Now, it just so happens this New Yorker was originally from Switzerland. Now, Wittnauer has made so many of my favorite Art Deco watches. I'm going through this huge Art Deco phase right now. You know, the design of a lot of these Witties, it's very unique and uncommon and kind of out there, but they're still able to make them elegant and tasteful. I've had a few of them at the T3 shop and they last maybe a day before immediately getting scooped up. Just gorgeous watches. Wittnauer had an amazing design team. They weren't scared of trying different things. Again, super funky, incredibly elegant. I love Witty. And screw Bulova for what they've done to you. Next up, another company I want to resurrect from the dead, Waltham. Now, Waltham's from my old stomping grounds of New England. They were founded in Roxbury, Mass. In 1850. Now, Waltham, just like all these other companies on the list, they have such interesting histories. So check this out. Abe Lincoln had a Waltham, okay? Upon giving the Gettysburg Address in 1863, Abraham Lincoln was presented a William Ellery. It's a key wind watch, Waltham model 1857. That's according to the internets. Now, very, very cool to think that one of our most prolific presidents ever actually had one of these timepieces. Now, Waltham eventually, they went under, but it wasn't without a fight, okay? They had so many different names trying to survive throughout the years. Let me pull up a little sheet. Okay, get this. American Horology Company, Warren Manufacturing Company, Boston Watch Company, Appleton Tracy and Company, American Watch Company, American Waltham Watch Company, Waltham Watch Company, Waltham Precision Instruments Company, Waltham International SA Switzerland, Hallmark Watch Company, Waltham Watch Company, Delaware. Yeah, crazy. I mean, they put up a fight, but it didn't, you know, they didn't last. Now, my favorite Walthams are the kind of sporty racing chronographs they came out with in the 1970s. Gorgeous surfboard dials, just really classic 1970s retro design. I love them. Next up, Elgin watches. Now guys, this company holds a very special place in my heart. So a few years ago, my dad was cleaning out some belongings and he found my great-grandfather's wristwatch, and it was an Elgin small seconds. Now, I had that thing in service for probably 6 months, and I'm trying to accrue the parts and get it up and running, and I'm happy to say I have it and it's in working order. It's very, very old, very fragile, but it is officially in my collection working again. So I love Elgin. You know, my great-grandfather, unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but he's one of the most important people to my dad. So it's very cool that, you know, I have his watch in my collection. And I wonder what he'd think about, you know, me wearing his watch and everything that I'm doing in regards to wristwatches. So it's a fun connection to my family member that, again, unfortunately, I never got to meet. But Elgin watches. You gotta love it. Now, my dad is from Chicago, Elgin obviously from Illinois, and when my dad was young, he actually helped demolish the Elgin factory. Crazy. So Elgin was officially founded in 1863 and it ceased operations in 1968. This is a company whose name has floated around and people have used it to make hideous fashion watches, just disgusting pieces. Yeah, they're definitely not the Elgin small seconds that we know. You know, the nice, classic, very vintage watches, small, thin profiles, those are gone. Any Elgin that you find nowadays that's modern, it's not the same company. So that's unfortunate how people keep trying to buy the names and change the names and rehash them, and it's always just sullied and disgusting. But the old Elgins, the original Elgins, very, very vintage, gorgeous watches. Love them, and I'd love to see them, you know, bring back some watches the right way. Okay, so there goes my full official list. Now I have 2 honorable mentions because the 2 companies that I have yet to talk about, they're still technically around, but in my book, they're dead. All right, first one, Movado. Easy pick. Why is this an honorable mention? Well, because it's technically still alive and well, I think they're not that well because something happened. The company changed hands in the mid-80s and that marked a turning point. Okay, right before then, they were working with companies like Zenith, coming out with gorgeous, really impressive mechanical watches, and then after that, they totally changed it to just money, money, money. Let's make stupid mass-produced watches, fashion watches. We'll totally change our brand. And so in my opinion, the company has died. It died in the 80s. I'd love to see it come back. You know, they have now a Movado Heritage Collection. Interesting because the dimensions aren't there and the movements aren't there. They're still quartz. Yeah, and I know someone's going to be like, well, they have this one automatic. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. They don't have any of the cool old Movados, and it would have been so easy for them just to make them again. I don't know. So Movado's dead. Let's bring it back. And Invicta. Okay, I made a whole episode talking about old vintage Invictas. I even purchased a Sealand chronograph, which was a company that eventually officially turned into Invicta. They had some really, really cool watches. Invicta made beautiful watches. And then in that episode, I'm gonna put a link here. Actually, in that episode, I did research and there's some weird kind of cryptic, vague quote from Invicta's current website. And it says, the descendants of the founders have brought oh man, I need to find that quote. Okay, so I'm having a hard time finding the quote, obviously, but essentially in the 1970s, Invicta went under, just like many other companies, and again, probably due to the quartz crisis. Well, there was some bit of text that I found on Invicta's website, and it alluded to the fact that the descendants of Invicta brought back the company. Now, I don't know what that means. That's very vague. Are they actual like family members of the founders, or are they people that were just enthusiasts of Invicta? Like, what does that mean? So yeah, I don't know if officially the company changed hands somewhere in the 1990s, but all we know is that in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, Invicta had watches, and again, they went through a few different names. Again, Sealand was one of them. I have experience with that company. But then, yeah, Invicta made stuff early 1900s, 1930s, 40s, and then the 70s didn't do too hot. And then, yeah, in the 1990s and 2000s, we see the Invictas that we know of today. So are they still alive? Yeah, they're still alive. They're still churning out some hot garbage, but are they well? No, I think they're kind of zombies. That's what I think it is. I think Movado and Invicta, kind of zombies. So
there you have it, my pretties. Some watch companies that we will bring back from the dead. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I can even make my mouth move if I put my chin all the way inside the mask and push real hard.
Things I do for you people. God, you make me look like an idiot online. Just kidding, I make myself look like an idiot online. Don't ever take that away from me. But seriously, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you have a fun Halloween. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. You know, some old people where I used to live would give out pennies. Don't take those. Or apples, ugh, the worst. Do I think people are gonna be putting, you know, razor blades and contraband inside the candy? No, but, you know, use your heads. Let's be honest, the majority of you guys watching this episode probably are past the age of trick-or-treating, but maybe, you know, your kids or your nieces or nephews are going, so just use your heads, you know. Look both ways before you cross a street, and don't buy an Invicta. Alright guys, guys, well, seriously, happy Halloween, my favorite time of the year. Like, comment, subscribe. There's multiple ways to support the channel if you had a chuckle, if you enjoyed yourself, but the easiest way is to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. Got an Amazon store that you can directly support the channel when you shop there, and if you want to go above and beyond, check out www.thetimetellershop.com. There's 3 watches still available, and one of the watches is actually a Zenith-made Movado with a Zenith signed dial, a Zenith signed crown, Zenith dialed case back, and even a Zenith signed movement. Crazy, crazy watch, kind of a snapshot from when Movado was actually, you know, a heavy hitter when it comes to horology. So yeah, some really cool watches still available there. So if you click that link in the description, www.thetimetellershop.com, that's a direct way of supporting us here. I'm very thankful. My editors are very thankful for all the support you guys give us. We are just under 80,000 subscribers. We're probably going to hit that this week. And yeah, unreal, guys, unreal. I could never, ever have imagined we'd get here. I know I do these thank yous, and I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart, honestly. If you were to have spoken to me, you know, even 2 years ago, right before I started the channel, and you would have asked me, hey, are you interested in starting a YouTube channel? I would have scoffed at you and been like, what, YouTube? No way. But lo and behold, this is crazy important. I couldn't even imagine doing anything else at this point. So, and you guys have allowed me to do this. So thank you so much. Happy Halloween. Let me know what you guys are going as. Let me know what your kids are going as. I went to a Halloween party as Laundry. We'll put a picture. I was Laundry. Crazy. I know. I'm an idiot. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. Almost 80,000 subscribers, and I'm coming for you 100,000. We gon' get there. We gon' get there with your help. So thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with everyone you know. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Love you guys. Real quick, if you enjoyed this episode, then do not worry, the fun doesn't need to stop here. Check out these recommended episodes that are going to be popping up on the screen anytime now. Also, take a moment, check out my brand new channel, the Time Away channel. It's where I talk about everything outside of the watch world, some of my other collections, some of my other hobbies. And if you're not interested in any of that, don't worry, just stay right here and I will see you right here. Because I never leave. I am trapped inside of this camera. Spooky Dad.